Now let's add logic into our calculator. Let's add a controller to our text field. Controller. We need to assign a text editing controller object into our text field. Let's name this display controller. A text editing controller object. Now we need to set up display controller as our text field controller. Through this controller object, we will be able to access our text field. If you remember, you know that I can assign a function, a method into each of these buttons individually. Let's do that. Let's define a method digit handler. This method will not return anything. I want to pass a text into this method. So what I want to do here is, after pressing that button, I want to add that into the end of the string that has been displayed on the text field. Renaming this to char. Okay, let's check this method. I want to add a semicolon here. Okay, works fine with this button. Now I want to pass this method into other buttons. Let's copy and paste it. Changing the character with different buttons. Okay, let's check it. Works fine. Now I want to add a method to add a decimal point. Let's define a separate method for that. I will name it point handler. Let's define our method. I want to add the decimal point at the end of our string. Okay, let's check this now. Works fine, but this still has an error. The user should not be able to press this button for the second time. Okay, let's fix this. First, come this error, I'm going to use a boolean variable. I have used var to define this variable because Flutter will automatically convert this into a boolean variable. The user already has a double value. This is double should be true. Then this code segment will not run for the second time. Let's check this. Okay, now it works fine. Now I want to implement the delete function here. For that I will use a separate method. Let's call this delete handle. This method will not return anything. Retrieving the text that has been displayed in our text field. The text should be updated into current text minus the last character. For that I want to use substring method. The string class has this substring method. Result.length -1. Okay, let's call this. I forgot to add the semicolon here. Now this should work fine. But if I press delete for the second time here, there is an error. Value not in range error. An error means simply the app will crash. So the error in here is when there is no text, this value which should not be negative becomes negative. So let's identify this case by using a statement. If length is equal to 0, then just clear the text. Okay, now it does not show an error. The next thing I'm going to implement is the sign button. When I click this value should be negative. Let's define a method for this sign handler. Defining the method all the way up here. Retrieving the string that is currently displayed in the text field. Converting that value into double. Double.pass method, and this should be result. Altering the double value to change the sign of that value. And we need to display the new value. Okay, let's check this. Okay, looks good, but this still has an error. When the value is 0 and when we press this button, it becomes a negative 0. This should not turn into negative. Okay, let's fix this error. The value is 0, just return, don't do anything. Also, I need to check if the value is decimal or a floating value so that I can return a specific value. If the value is a decimal value, I should only return a decimal value. For that, I want to use toString_as_fix method here, because I don't want any fraction points here, therefore the value will be 0. Else I just need to print the output. Okay, now it works fine. Now let's move on to the calculation part. I want to define 3 variables up here, num1, num2 and operand. Num1 and num2 should be a double value and our operand variable should be a string value. Okay, let's define a new method to handle our buttons. I will name it operand handler. Okay, what I want to do here is when I press this add button, it should get this value up here and assign it to num1 and change the value of that operand variable into plus symbol. Num1 variable holds a double value, so I should pass this into double. This should be display controller of text. Now I want to add a switch statement here. According to that pass text, I will change the value of operand variable. Case is plus sign, then should be operand variable should be changed into that sign. I should use a break statement here in this switch case, otherwise every other case will run. Now I should clear my text field. Okay, now I want to call this method in our relevant buttons. One should be up here. This should be minus sign. This should be plus sign. want to call it here. Okay, let's check this. And also I want to print num1 and num_operand variable just to make sure. Print operand. Okay, when I press 7 and 8 and our multiplication symbol, it changes the value of our variables. Thereafter, when I enter a second number and press this button here, I want to initialize the second value into our second variable and do that calculation according to the operand variable. Let's name this method equal handler. Let's assign num2 variable to currently entered value. Creating a switch statement. Let's copy and paste it. I should define a variable to store the result. It should be a double variable. Changing the result value according to the operand. This should be division. I should update the value of text field. Also, if the user has pressed this button before pressing an operand button, like I want to return here, if result is null, I should return. If the user did not press an operand button, then any of these cases won't work, result will be null. Now the result should be in our text field. Okay, now let's call this in our relevant button. And run our application. (96 divided by 3 is 32). When I press my clear button, I should clear this text. Let's make a method here, void clear handler. When the user presses this button, our three variables should be in initial statement. An operand variable into initial statement. Also, this is double variable should be false. we should clear our text field. I should close this method down here. Okay, works fine. Also, I should comment these lines as well. I want to fix another two things as well. You can see this red mark. If this is annoying you, you can remove it. Also, when I tap my text field, it suggests a keyboard, and if the user presses these letters, the app will surely crash. So let's fix these two things. First, let's fix the keyboard in our text field and show cursor set to true and read only set to true. After adding this, the keyboard will not be suggested when we tap on our text field. Fixing that red mark all the way up in our material app. Debug show check mode banner will be set to false. Let's rerun our application. Okay, now the red banner has been removed. Also, you can see that our app works fine. Okay guys, that's it for this tutorial. Thank you for listening.